For more than 30 years, Robert Edward Auctions has been the nation's premier auction house, specializing in sports memorabilia and trading cards. With significant experience and expertise in all major sport, non-sport, and Americana collectibles, REA has helped clients achieve record-breaking prices for their items and has done so with a reputation for integrity and transparency. By actively partnering with collectors and enthusiasts throughout the entire process, REA has created the hobby's most trusted forum for selling high-quality collectibles. Go to robertedwardauctions.com for more information on how to buy or sell in their next auction.
I'm Danny Black.
And I'm John Newman.
Welcome to Card Mentions.
Episode 23 to be exact, and that is Danny Black to the left of me on the screen. I am still John Newman. Man, 23 episodes. It's kind of crazy.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, it's the Michael Jordan episode, although that will probably be the only time he will be mentioned tonight, unless we honestly do it on purpose just to make me wrong. Obviously, you hear the intro song, you know the name of the show, 23 episode in Menches. We both, myself and Danny, of Jewish heritage. It's, something I want to just say. I'm not going to be long-winded about it, but I'll say it in this terms. If this show would have been last Friday instead of this Friday, we might not have made it on the air. I'm not necessarily going to make political about it, but I just want to say, we're thinking about what's going on in the Middle East and the atrocities there, and both in Israel and Gaza, as far as innocent people being killed. And there's no room in my mind for this kind of stuff. It's really been on my mind since it started, and it's tough. And I know a few people have reached out to me, and I'll let Danny talk too. I know people have reached out, and I appreciate that. And there's things you can do. There's causes you can donate to, humanitarian efforts, and if you feel it in your heart to do that, it's much appreciated. So we hope this conflict is over as quickly as it can be, with as little lives lost as possible, but not a good time. That's all I'm going to say. I don't like to get political, but there's a saying: if you don't stand for anything, you stand for nothing. And I've never been accused of standing for nothing, and I'm not going to start today. So there you go.
Well said, my friend. The more I think about what I want to say, the more I realize I'm not sure I would get through it without losing it a little bit. Let's just say this is extremely personal to me, and there's no room for terrorism on this earth. And God bless everybody for safe survival. And how about we talk some baseball cards tonight, and have a little removal. We are not calling baseball cards as important as what's going on, but a little escapism can be healthy, and this is, I think, something I need. I know after the last couple of days, so I'm looking forward to talking cards. How about you?
Yeah, no doubt, and a little bit different today. We're going to go around the starting nine and pick a player and card combo. Now, we're not necessarily saying this you're the best at each position, but just the card and combo. Have a little fun with like what cards we picked. We tried not to share or compare notes, with each other to kind of. I venture a guess we might have overlapping cards, but maybe not as many as we think. The way I did this, Danny, I'll just explain my picks before I even give them. They're not necessarily all rookies, although probably a higher percentages are all rookies, or more rookies than non-rookies, but they're not all rookies. And I'm not necessarily saying every one of these players is the number one best overall player at the position. I will say though, they are in the mix. In other words, there's no Doug DeCinces card for second base. Okay, no offense to Doug, who was not a terrible player
And
in
played
his
for the
own right.
Orioles and
Yeah,
was pretty good. Yeah.
yeah. So it's not necessarily that, but they're very good players to great players and a cool card to kind of go along with them. We will have pictures, so it won't be just our ugly mugs talking about whatever cards we selected. Some shout outs, if you will. Orlando, good to see you. That card story. Mookie Chilson, I echo that sentiment. And to all that are listening later on, even in podcast form. Show doesn't exist without you, and we acknowledge that. So I don't know how if you want to sort of preempt your picks with kind of a statement like I did that they're not necessarily all rookies or the best players, but and how do you? I'm guessing we'll alternate you by position and that sort of thing. But go
Well,
ahead.
first of all, can I make an early correction?
Sure.
If you're listening on the podcast, we are handsome.
I can't say that without laughing, so I'll let you do it instead.
You said our ugly mugs. If they're on the podcast, they have no idea.
Well, listen. I keep expectations low. That way, someone said, "Yeah, John was right," or if I'm lucky, they'll say, "Hey, he's not as ugly as he made himself out to be." That's
See,
like the best case scenario.
the nice thing about living in Baltimore and Syracuse is like if I go to LA, I'm like a 5. But in Baltimore, I'm a solid 7.
I don't know what Syracuse and where I rank. I've never given it that much thought. But
All right.
I think I'm a 3, which is my favorite number everywhere, including Canada. So
The conversion rate holds.
it doesn't apply. I'm still 3.
Well, I think what we want to do, and what we can kind of go. I think we should go around the diamond. I think is the easiest way to do this.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
And to give people an idea, why don't we start with a position like catcher?
Okay.
To give an idea of kind of what we're doing, and what imagine that you're thinking about all the cards in history and the coolest cards, and you have to pick one for every position. There you go, John. You're a VG.
I do. Maybe I can. If I was PSA, maybe I'd get to 3.5.
Right. So for catcher, the greatest catcher in history might be Josh Gibson. It might be Yogi Berra. It might be Johnny Bench. But when you combine that with the greatest card of a catcher ever, well, then there's a couple different options. You want to bring up yours first?
Yeah. Now, this isn't one of them, but 2 of these on my list I actually own. So when I get to those, I will actually show the actual card in possession. This card I've owned numerous times. There you go. You got it for me. The 1971 Thurman Munson, not rookie. This is not Thurman's rookie card. It does have the gold All-Star Rookie Cup there, which people seem to like, and the facsimile autograph. By the way, put that up one more time.
Okay, let me go back to that.
Sorry,
no problem.
Giving you orders. There's an Oakland A sliding into home plate there, which Thurman is trying to get out. I know who the A is. Now, I had to research it. I don't want to act like I recognize his face and I know who it is. But without looking, I cheated. But now, if anyone in the chat, I will tell you in like a couple minutes who this gentleman is that is sliding or trying to slide under Thurman's tag here for the A's. But when you look at this card,
is that Billy Martin?
No, it's not Billy Martin.
Oh,
Billy
okay.
Martin was retired by this time. I think he was already managing.
Yeah, probably.
I'm not sure. But it's an iconic card, right? Of an iconic player who I think honestly would have been a Hall of Famer had his, not had the plane accident. For those that don't know, Thurman Munson was how I learned about what death was, and the first time I cried over someone dying when I realized I learned what death was. So a little personal connection here. Thurman Munson, I was a Yankee fan, as a younger kid, and Thurman Munson was my favorite player and all that. Joe Rudy's a good guess. No, Gene Tennis is not. I'll even give you one more tip of who that Oakland A is that's sliding. He is a pitcher, which you wouldn't think, right? A pitcher running the bases and then getting down and dirty at a play at the plate. So, you know, I think I'm still a three, Logan. You can't take that away from me. Um,
Oh,
but
PSA
but
3.
it's a classic card, right? I think most, there's a lot of people probably think that's his rookie card, not knowing about the 1970 gray border one. And it's one of those cards. It's going to be another one that comes up later on that almost looks like it should have been the rookie card, like that. If that would have been the rookie card, it would have been even more desirable of a rookie. No, that's a good guess. That's a good guess too. Definitely not
The
Vital
guest was
Bulldog.
Catfish, by the way, in
Yeah,
case you're on the podcast,
Catfish
John.
Hunter.
Yes.
Yeah, Catfish Hunter. So, no, Neaton, and I don't know if anyone's gonna get it. He's not a super famous player necessarily,
What's up, Grant
but
Cardboard?
so there's Dan, evening Dan. So I don't know how long you want me to do. I'll
Ju-
ask
ju-
Dan knows the stuff that we're trying to figure out. Well, I already have figured out who the catcher is or who the player is sliding here on the 71 Munson. All right. I'm going to give it up because, we can't make the show 2 hours. So it's a pitcher for the A's named Chuck Dobson. So
Oh,
if you knew it was Chuck Dobson, congratulations to you. Yeah, Gene Tennis. That was who I thought before I figured out who it really was. Chuck Dobson. So you can win a bar bet, right? Like ask somebody who's the A sliding on the 71 Tops Munson. No one's gonna say Chuck Dobson unless they Googled it. And there you go. So
so
uh
by the
but
way,
there's my catcher
I
card.
love the game shows mid mensch. So that's
Yeah.
I love that we just ran a game show. That's
I'm
fantastic.
Wink Martindale.
Right. And that's our first card, guys. We could be in for a double episode tonight.
Yeah, I went a little bit long with the truck, but it's really one of those only cards where we probably could have an action going on the card, or very very rare. So
Well, you and I have similar taste in things, so I wouldn't rule out the only action shot. Can I show my catcher?
yeah, go ahead.
This is somebody who you don't often see or think of maybe in the actual playing days or in motion. You think a lot about him later in life after a car accident ended his career prematurely. And I thought this set certainly needed to be represented. Um, 51 Bowman, Roy Campanella. Uh, to me, it's a gorgeous card. If you want to take a great catcher, a great looking card, throwing off the mask, the inaction. I know some people don't love the artwork on his face there, but I to me, I would take this card all day. Um, I just to me this is why we're doing this. I just think it's beautiful.
I'll keep it short and sweet. You stole some Brooklyn Dodgers guys from me. I only have one. I think it's an obvious homer pick. But yeah, I like that pick. I like that pick, and I like that you picked it. And I didn't have to be a homer, right? You didn't know you were going to talk about Chuck Dobson tonight, right? Neither did
Right.
Chuck Dobson.
Well, congratulations to Chuck Dobson for making it to card matches. Now you've made it, Chuck.
And it doesn't
Okay.
even matter if he's out or safe. No one really knows. He's just on the card.
Well, but this is what the exercise is. So we're taking a look at these types of things. So we're going to go position by position. And if you have comments in the chat room, please throw them in.
Yeah, share them. We'll share them on the air as well. All right, go ahead. It's your turn. We're doing the
I'm gonna go pitcher because I've been talking about this all day. I mean, I don't think I could have mentioned this card more to you if I tried. I absolutely love, and I think one of the greatest pitchers of all times. The stories from the Negro Leagues, playing in the major leagues, and then you take the artwork of the card, the 1953 Topps Satchel Paige. I'll take the player, the card, the combination. I was very, very close to going with the Koufax rookie. I could still make a very strong argument for the Koufax rookie, but to me, the satchel is beautiful. I showed my wife. I said, "Just what do you think of this when you look at it?" And she goes, "It's beautiful." And she's not a sports fan, so I think it holds its own on art and certainly on the talent.
Yeah, iconic card, got a late start, obviously, for obvious reasons in the major leagues. But incredible pitcher, pitched well. I think he might have been 50 or into his 50s, which is my age now. And I played hardball baseball. And I was a pitcher back in high school. You think like if I had to still do it today, my arm would fall off and roll somewhere, never to be seen again. So it is a great card, right? It's like you don't even have to be a Satchel Paige fan or even knowledgeable about him, and the card is just a striking card. It's one of those like if you had to explain baseball cards to someone who didn't know and you wanted to get 10 or 20 pictures of cards, it would be in that first 10 or 20 to show. And just a great card. I don't own it. It's a card I've never owned. Yeah.
John, we have a comment here that would like to correct you. John, somebody named Splendid Sports Card.
Yeah, I know that guy.
We might know him, and he might know you. And
the
catcher
should have been
very.
Listen, I was nice enough to him already, serving up a gopher ball to them as they went on to the Little League World Series, and we went home. So that's about all as I'm gonna give to Varitek.
And to be clear, you will not own Varitek. Varitek owns you.
He does. Listen, the whole team did that day. My only loss of the year. So and you sized. Like I told the story. I sized them up before the game, and I was feeling overconfident, and so much for that. I don't know if it was 500 feet, but it was definitely. I didn't even turn around. I just held my glove up so the ump could throw me the ball, so I could pitch to the next batter. So it was one of those kind of like I knew it, so just give me a ball.
That's awesome. I should have had a Jason Varitek card ready. All right, so who's your pitcher?
My pitcher is this is another one. It's not a rookie card, but many people probably not many, but I'm sure a few people might by looks might think of it. It would, and if it was his rookie, this is an icon. This is an iconic card anyway. But if it would have been nice had this been a rookie instead of the one where he's on with another player, right? The 1967 Topps rookie. This is the 68 Topps Gold Cup Seaver. Look how young he is right here. Mm-hmm. And as he started his major league career, and a great card, actually still very affordable, especially in mid-grade or low grade, but just a great card. You can't go wrong with this card. I've owned this card. I don't currently own it, but I've owned this card like off and on probably 5-6 times. I'm sure I'll get it again, and maybe the next time I get it, I'll just keep it and forget about keep putting it out in my vintage box. But just it's if you can't get the rookie, which has gotten very, very expensive, I tried to get one at the National unsuccessfully. It's really a great card to have as sort of a plan B. And like Mookie
Do you
said,
agree
one
with
of the
this, Joe?
greatest Mets cards. Yeah, one of the greatest Mets cards of all time. I agree, which is I had to pick. I too thought of the Koufax. I thought that was kind of chalk because I owned it, and I kind of thought you might go that direction. So I went with the second year Seaver. Listen, I'm a sucker. Anyone that listens to me enough knows I'm a sucker for two things, right? Acetate cards or big facial close-ups on baseball cards because they're not that common as you would think. And so that Seaver checks that box.
I'm gonna have to replay this episode and hear what number 2 was very closely again.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for me, it would have probably been Koufax.
No, I
It's,
just want to make sure we give a big blow up of the facial on the card.
all right.
Who's your first baseman?
All right, my first baseman. I went really old school here. It's and again factoring the card as well. And it's the the Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig, 1933 Gowdy. Look at this card, like swinging the lefty, and it's just just a great card, right? And you could take his name off there, and a baseball, a baseball fan or card guy or lady, most that knows about cards knows who that is. It's just one of those kind of cards, kind of a layup one with that one. It was really the first one that sort of came to mind when I thought about it, and so I stayed with they say stay with your initial gut. I stayed with my initial gut on this one. That's the 33 Gowdy Gehrig. And again, you can see how young he is at this point, not knowing, what was to come. And then unfortunately, a passing at a too young of an age. And, but you can't go wrong with a Lou Gehrig rookie card. So that's my pick.
Well, he might be the greatest first baseman of all time, and it's one of my favorite sets of all time. So I'm glad you picked it. I went very similar. I'm trying to find it. I mean, you went 33 Gowdy, Gehrig. I'm going 34 Gowdy, Hank Greenberg from the Lou Gehrig says.
I tell you the truth, this was on my list as well. It probably would have been, Greenberg was probably my second card choice after Gehrig, but I went with the Gehrig. So listen, you can't go wrong on either one of these cards. You're not going to throw either one of these cards out of bed, as I like
Now,
to say.
Greenberg, am I correct? This is the Greenberg rookie.
I don't know I don't think it is. I could be wrong.
For a mainstream, yeah, I want to see in the comments if somebody
I thought he had one before this.
I know he had a pop-up and something else, but I thought this was his first card. I'm sure somebody will correct me in comments, please. I can handle it. But I love the card. I love the player. I think he's tremendously underrated. If you want to look up your history, look up what he did, the time he lost in military service, the numbers he put up, and who else he was playing with at that time. And he really got overshadowed. I mean, to be fair, part of his career he was overshadowed by Lou Gehrig. And there was Jimmy Fox, and such great talent at that position. But Hank Greenberg, 34 Gowdy, was my first baseman.
Yeah, like the card story said, right? Two great picks. You can't really go wrong with either one of those cards. So we haven't busted this draft yet with a bad pick, but stay tuned. We got room for error here to come.
Mookie says, "I think you're right. Hank's rookie." Mazel tov.
Yeah, I thought he had one earlier, but I'm apparently wrong. So not the first time, or the last, as my wife says.
I'm glad we got it on video. I still want to double check that, but yeah, I think it is. All right, so does that mean we're moving to second base, or are we going around the diamond here?
Yeah, we can, and I think it's your turn to go.
That's my turn. Well,
I think we have the same one here. I think this one we did compare notes on.
did we both go chalk on this?
Well, it's chalk for me. My chalk
Chalk.
might be different from your chalk.
Now, now let me give you the background. For second base, I gave serious consideration to the Bill Ripken card. I thought the Bill Ripken card in the history of cards has a prominence, but the talent of a player just couldn't hold up. And then you compare.
Why? What do you mean the 234 average with with double-digit home runs? I get
Jackie Robinson, 48-49 leave. It's chalk. It's a no-brainer. You're talking about a Hall of Fame player. You're talking about one of the greatest cards of all time. I had to download a graphic. You get to hold up the real one.
Yeah, this one was, listen, I'm just going to warn everyone now. Anytime we do these lists and I can get this card on the list, like tonight, it's going to happen. That's all. I'm not going to drone on about it. There you go. That's it. And listen, if the card isn't enough, you can have a keychain too.
Jack, you want a keychain?
This actually just came in today, so that's how new that is. But that's my guy, and if I didn't put this card and him on when you're doing a list like this, like something would be wrong with me. So I'm sure somebody like, "Are you feeling all right, Newman? Like what's going on?" So I know it's the layup for me, but I can't dunk anymore. Actually, I can never dunk, so I have to hit the layup.
Beautiful card, John. No need to apologize.
Thank you.
All sorts of emojis from Dylan. I believe those are all positive emojis. Dylan, I'm way too old for emojis. I need words.
I don't know if Mike Petty's saying he missed the card, but there you go.
I was about to say, Mike, don't give him a reason to pull it back out again.
I'm going to put it behind me, so I won't touch it anymore.
Nah, it's a great card. I'm just purely jealous. All right, so does that put us at shortstop?
It's my turn. It's my turn, and this one's tricky. I mean, there's a long list of great shortstops and great cards, right? And so this one, I finally settled. I don't want to say settled. Settled's not even a great word. It's almost like there's nothing came to the top. But it's a card that's on my list to acquire. It's hard to find without the top cut off, but the picture you're about to put up is a good specimen of this card. No.
Yes.
No, that's my D. That card is.
That's your DH.
You showed that everyone got to see the DH card before the shortstop card.
Well, on the podcast, we won't give it away.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ernie Banks, look at how young he is. I love, the 54s was a set I sort of, I don't want to say ignored, but
Jackie fell off the shelf.
Yeah. But I didn't give the 54 top set enough credit between the big logos of the team and the two pictures, right? The one in action and the one close up. And Ernie Banks, you can see how young he is with back in 54. And a lot of times that Ernie Banks is kind of partially cut off at the top. So great player. I think one of those underrated guys. And I don't know if I even could say this card's underrated anymore because it's really started to get into harder to acquire stratosphere. And so while Ernie Banks I still think's underrated, I think this card might be finally living up to where it should be. And on my list to get, I don't have it. So we'll have to use the graphic for now, but maybe in a future show, I can hold up a real one someday, but not tonight.
Well, I'm a fan of the 54s.
Yeah.
Love that card. Great looking card. In fact, I'll show off the entire bottom there is the 54, the bottom three rows of the 54 Orioles team set. That's the first year they moved to Baltimore. I just finished that off, and I'll be bragging about that. If you see me doing content for the next 6 months, you'll hear about that set. So, all right. So my shortstop For me, this is chalk. I pulled it out last week also. I'm pulling it out again this week. I'm sure everybody in the comments will know where I'm going.
Yeah, this is definitely. I figured you were going this way, and I won't argue. Arguably, he's in the mix for greatest shortstop ever. You got the streak, obviously, and a great card right out of the 82 tops traded.
Yep.
Now we had this debate the other day. Can this be a rookie card out of a traded set? And I think it can be.
Well,
I don't have
similar
a
to your
rule.
receiver, there's something about the card itself that
Yeah,
holds.
there are some people who will believe like unless the card comes out of an actual pack, it can't be a rookie. So it comes out of a traded set that's
But
generally sealed.
John, this is my
I'm
list.
not saying I agree. I'm just saying that there are people who use that as their own personal rule. So, but the
Um,
rule is with this show, these don't have to be rookie cards. We've already showed some that aren't rookies. So either way, but it is Ripken's rookie.
it's the 82 tops traded Ripken. It's his first solo card. His 82 tops card was a 3-player card with Bob Bonner and Jeff Schneider. So this is his first solo card, like John said, in the 82 tops traded set. If you're not familiar, that was not sold in packs. That only came in the full box. It was really a mini box for the tops traded set. So that's every one of these that are out on the market are from broken sets. So to your point, but that being said, I'll take the player, I'll take the card, put them together, and to me, it's a winner. So
Yeah, no arguments.
yeah, I think I win that one. I'm kidding. Third base. Where are you going?
Is it my turn?
Is it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
No,
I
it's
almost
my.
got a free draft pick right there. I almost moved up without making a trade.
Where did my third baseman go? Here,
you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go. You go because I lost my third baseman.
You just Minnesota Vikings. Remember when the Vikings didn't make their pick, and so they went to the next team during the NFL draft? They did it twice actually. So
Yes.
all right, I have the actual card.
Real quick. The reason we didn't pick the T206 Wagner, we were trying to keep it mostly to vintage and not early pre-war, but obviously the Wagner is
That's
clearly
an iconic card.
Yeah.
Another card. I like to say this. Another card I wouldn't throw out of bed. So
right. So who's your third baseman?
And this is, we can argue again. This is not necessarily saying he's the best third baseman of all time, although he is in the discussion. But I like the card. Another set that's grown on me in recent years, and that's the 75 tops, George Brett. Again, young George Brett there, and I don't know just a great player. I'm not a George Brett guy per se, but I like the 75s. You got the multicolor, the blue baseball on the bottom with the position. And so I went with George Brett. We could make an argument. Brooks Robinson, I think I know where you're going. I might have just gave away your pick. Mike Schmidt is in the mix too, and that's a rookie I do own, but I wanted to go with a solo player card, so I went with the Brett.
Well, I certainly respect the Brett. I think it's an undervalued rookie card. I actually think it's a great buy.
He's very cheap. That card can be had for
a
couple $100 in pretty decent grade form. It is, Then you got the 75 minis. There's a lot of like with the 75-year directions you can go. So I went with the Brett, but go ahead. I think I know where you're going. Unless you totally.
No, I took your 75 and I flip-flopped it into a 57, and I made it. I took the Brooks Robinson 57 tops. The set, if you're not familiar, it's the first year with full photography, the first year of career stats, the first year of the standard size card, and the greatest third baseman of all time. That
Yeah.
if I wasn't biased enough, if I wasn't biased enough already.
Yeah, and listen, the timing of it too. I probably would have went Robin. I probably would have went Brooks, but I knew you were going to cover it. The Human Vacuum, no doubt. Yeah, just incredible place. Being an infielder in
Thank you, Mike.
baseball,
Sorry.
I was always told to watch like videos of Brooks Robinson if I could find them. So yeah, that one's a better pick, but I knew I didn't want to have the same card, at least on that one. So
Yeah.
I went with the Brett, and I knew you were going to go Brooksy. So I don't want to say I let you have it, but I just went in a little different direction.
You know what? Here you go, Brooksy. All right, tonight's a tough one to get through. All right, okay, moving on. Where are we? Where are we?
Danny passing on Melvin Mora is a surprise. Yeah, man.
He was a close second, and his 12 children were all tied for third. He does. He has like 12 children.
He's like George Foreman.
What?
Are they all named Melvin?
Well, it'd be weird if Melvin named them all George.
No, that'd be kind of funny.
Brooksy invented the one-hop throw to first. Yes, Mike, he did. And Mike, you know this. I'm not telling you. He played on grass at home, turf on the road, and he dominated at both. And that's not talked about enough. The 1970 World Series, most of his good plays were on turf. And people said that he couldn't handle the turf that he played on grass. He could more than handle the turf. So, all right, I got that out of my system. Are we on to outfield?
I think we are.
All right, whose turn is it?
Well, it's technically mine, but you gave up your third base pick when you didn't find the graphics, so I'll let you go first again.
Okay, then I'll take the chalk of all chalk. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So,
well, what position? We're doing left field, center field, right field. So which one?
I didn't. I took three outfielders.
Just pick three. Okay, yeah. I went actually position specific. But go ahead.
Look who got extra credit.
But go ahead. You cheated and just said I'm picking three
outfielders. I took two center fielders and a right fielder. So when you talk about greatest center fielders, greatest baseball players, most iconic baseball cards, I mean, it's a short conversation to get to the 52 Topps Mickey Mantle. I mean, I felt almost embarrassed to pick such a chalk card. You know, this is basically picking the T206 Wagner. You know, I'm not proud that I didn't pick something, sexier. It's just a great card. It is. It's not his rookie, but there's no more iconic modern.
It's not his rookie card.
Oh my god. So I just thought it was deserving.
Yeah, I didn't pick it. Because you can't argue it. I'm not shooting the pick down, not even close. But I didn't pick it. So I'll go with my center fielder, since it's your pick. Yeah, I went with the other guy that played in New York as well, who I think, because of Mickey Mantle, we don't talk about this guy enough, right? And this is an iconic card in its own right. I know it's not a 52 Topps Mantle, but it's a 53 Topps Willie Mays. And right now, and hopefully that stays that way, he's the greatest living ball player we have on the face of the earth. And so not his rookie card either. I went with, again, combining player and card, and that's why I settled on the 53 Mays. The 52 Mays as well.
I thought about that, and the 51 Mays.
Yeah, well, the 51s is rookie, right? And I kind of it's not a bad looking card. I just went with kind of the combination of not having it doesn't have to be a rookie. It's a combination of the quality of player and the specific card. So I went with the 53 Mays, and another card you really won't kick out of bed. As I like
and Mookie brings up a great point. It's a great pre-Mets Willie Mays card.
Yeah,
Yeah,
20 years later, 20 years later exactly, in 1973, you can get an older looking Willie Mays in a Mets uniform on the
I call it the
73
sad
top.
the sad Willie Mays. That
Yeah,
card just looks sad. The Mets Willie Mays card. I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
not his best year. Let's just put it that way.
Hey, Johnny Unitas finished with the San Diego Chargers, so people forget that. Um, okay, so back to me for outfielders, and since I cheated and took another center fielder, um, I'm going to show it. I've talked about this card before. I think of a certain generation. We need to keep talking about it um, because it is going to go down as one of the great baseball cards ever made, ever created, ever designed, the most graded card of all time.
Oh, you took it. Yeah, it was on my list,
I
but it
just,
was so chalk. Like to me, so here's where I'm gonna. Here's the
I'm
only
vanilla.
argument I'm gonna make.
I'm
It
Danny
was
Vanilla.
that's your rap name.
That was
Vanilla
my
Ice is
nickname in high school. That was my nickname in high
Danny
school. Yeah,
Vanilla. Let's
Danny
welcome
Vanilla.
Danny Vanilla to the stage,
Uh,
and
I would
Vanilla
only love
Ice will
to.
sue you. Yeah, it's funny because the Griffey and the Mano were both on my list, and I just said, man, they're both chalk. And then I went off chalk with the Willie, but you can't argue. Listen. That checks my boxes too, right? Rookie card, facial close up. I just think there's so many of them. I didn't pick it, but I won't argue. I love
89
this
upper deck
card.
Ken Griffey if I didn't say it for the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the card. I just didn't pick it. It was on my list that I just didn't I just didn't pull the trigger on it. So I went with the Mace as far as because I went, position specific. So I guess I'll go. I won't argue with the Griffey, but I'll
I just
go.
want people in the comments. I'm curious what they think about the 89 Griffey. If they look at it as an iconic card or if they look at it as an overproduced card.
Well, it is over. Listen, we're not going to
Can it be
debate
both?
whether it's
Can it be
produced.
both?
It is over. Well, it is iconic. No, you're right. It is iconic and it's overproduced. But but here's the crazy thing. It's still iconic even though it's overproduced. That is not easy to do, So
Yes, Logan. Thank you.
it's not that easy to be overproduced and iconic at the same time, but the Griffey 89 Upper Deck actually pulls it off. And
So
I
do my
can never
twin. So do my
yeah.
twin boys.
All right, I'm going with my right fielder pick here. Not with the rookie card. It's a second year card. I don't like the looks of his rookie cards. But I went with Tony Gwynn, another guy. If you notice a trend, I'm going with some guys that I think don't get enough love uh, in baseball and maybe even in the hobby. And Tony Gwynn, just some of the stats, you look him up, how little he struck out, batted 300 basically every year. Just one of the toughest outs in baseball history. When we talk about guys we wind up when it's 2 outs and you need a base hit to tie the game, not to win it, but just to keep playing. He's one of my first picks. And I don't think he gets enough. And I love this card. I know it's not his rookie.
I was about to ask
83.
you that. This is the 84 Donruss. Do you really like the look of it?
I love 84 Donruss. I know
Okay.
some people don't, but just the way it almost looks like
I'm one of those people.
Yeah. I was 12 years old in 1984, and I can tell you where a good percentage of my allowance and any money I earned from doing odd jobs went to 84 Donruss pack, not just for the Gwynn, but obviously the Mattingly rookie, which is also a big faced card. So that's just a great Tony Gwynn card. And, I love it. Anytime I see it, it just brings back memory of 1984 for me. And, I wish it was his rookie card. It just would be ideal if it was, but it's not. An 84 Donruss, I don't know how to
I'm
explain
in the
it.
minority on this one. I'm getting
Yeah. I love it's one of my favorite all time designs. 84, and this one will surprise you. 85 Donruss, who I like the 84 Donruss better, but
I'm
the
getting
85
wait a minute, I'm
Donruss
getting killed.
is sneaky. So um yeah, I am sort of consistent, maybe to a fault almost. Like I'm sort of predictable, but I love those close up shots where you get to know you see the player a little more than you would watching the game on TV, right?
I like
You
big
see him on
shots, and I
TV, you see
cannot
him,
lie.
but you got the helmet on. But 84 Donruss, I opened. Oh my God, so much of that. It's it's crazy, and that was one of the first for Donruss, who was new on the block. That was like the first card that their first release that they had where people took notice. From 81, 82, 83, Donruss was pretty ugly, lots of errors and mistakes. And 84, Donruss was like, oh, Donruss is coming now. And so between that, Tony Gwynn, and the look at that card, I went with it.
Well,
So
I can't argue with Tony Gwynn. He was inducted at the same Hall of Fame induction ceremony with Cal Ripken, so I was
yeah.
lucky enough to see him inducted into the Hall while he was alive. And on a separate note, boy, have you picked a lot of depressing guys who passed away early.
Yeah, I don't think I did that. I wasn't thinking along those lines, but it's funny looking at my list. Yeah, there is a sort of that not across the board, but listen, Willie Mays is still alive. They probably just jinxed it, but
What, you try to average it out?
yeah.
Mookie says 84 Donruss has excellent photography, clear, elegant vision in the design. Guys, I'll admit I'm getting killed on this.
I got a lot of fans backing me up here on the 84. And just I don't even know what you call it. It always struck me as like a music. You ever seen like musical
Mm-hmm.
notes, and it's on I'm sure it's called something, and not being musically talented, I don't know what it's called, but it always had that sort of feel to it. So DiMaggio was on my short list. I didn't pick it. Um yeah, but you
Yeah.
can't go wrong. I just had one of those go in an SGC bulk sub and come back. Pretty nice grade. So,
All right, is it my turn?
yes.
All right, so I'm on my third outfielder. And John, I can't believe I'm doing this, but you have this card.
I do. It's behind me. I didn't pick it, though.
I took the 54 tops Hank Aaron. I told you I love the 54 tops. It's his rookie card. It's Hank Aaron. It's beautiful. I'll take this card all day and twice on Sundays.
Well, listen, this was my big purchase of 2023. So I will not argue. It is behind me. I only went with one chalk. I thought if I went with this card, I thought about it. I'm like, it's too much chalk for one episode. So I would not argue to pick, obviously. I went off chalk. But probably my second favorite card. I get asked that, like after the Jackie, what is your I'd have to say the Hank. It's like picking kids, right? I only have one son, so it's easy for me to pick my favorite kid. And some days I don't even pick him.
You told me
But
you didn't have a son.
that was
Jordan,
one of those
Jordan, I'm
days
kidding.
where I did. That's where I didn't pick him that day. But like that's probably my second favorite card. And I again at 54 tops in the last couple of years, I used to not like it that much, and uh then it grew on me. And it just when you think between the design and the rookies that carry that set, right? Just crazy. So
I think it's important anytime we can tie Major League into our conversation here, the movie. Mookie says that Hank Aaron card is in Pedro Serrano's locker in Major League. I'm down with Hank and Jobu. Yes, you
I
can
do it
never go.
myself. I do it myself.
Uh,
There's a
Jobu.
line before that, but this is a kid's show, so I will not repeat that.
I think I ruined the kids show part. I think I ruined the kids show part a long time ago. It's one of those weeks. It's one of those weeks, guys. Put your kids to bed. We got 10 minutes left. All right, back to you, Mr. Newman.
I go in my last outfielder. I went with left field. This guy, another guy.
By the way,
That
can I tell you something? You picked one of my favorite players, and I'm so disappointed you got him and I forgot him. I
yeah.
absolutely blanked
Go
on
ahead,
him.
throw it up there. Another underrated dude, right? Stan Musial. This is the 52 Bowman. Um, and just the class. Look at that, man. Just the
Beautiful.
color on that thing. You got the Cardinals logo on his jersey. His batting stance. You got the stadium in the back. The facsimile auto right above his head. This is the 52 Bowman, so you don't have the black box with the name in there. You just have to read it. But you don't have to read this card because anyone that looks at it instantly knows about it's Stan Musial. And again, I gravitate towards guys that don't get enough hobby love, and this guy is one of those guys. And it's not his rookie card, but it's just it's one of those cards. Like I collect rookie cards, but if I'm looking through cards and this is in that for to buy, I'm like, I love this card, right? And I think a lot of other people, love it too. And this one kind of came to me pretty quick when I was thinking left field.
Well, can I give an honorable mention one also that I had?
Sure.
Or are we too early for honorable mentions?
No, you can. I mean, we only have the DH left, so
And we don't have any rules, so I'm doing it.
he's no Trout. He was actually good,
Right.
and he played right. What's that saying? Right, the best ability is availability. So the Musial is
One
definitely
of the cards that I really, really considered, and I just, it's hard to pick three outfielders. It just is.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. You know what? This not that I didn't. I
I'm
don't want
sorry
to forget
for the
about it.
podcast. It's the
Yeah,
Roberto Clemente rookie.
yeah. This was the card I tried. That was on my short list for the national that I couldn't seem to get in the price range I needed it to be at. Yeah, another iconic card, and again, we could like Dylan says, we could do the show every week and have no trouble coming up with lists and cards, right? And Roberto Clemente, no one's going to argue that. I will say this: I didn't forget about it, but when I was kind of coming up with my list, I guess I did. I forgot about it in that moment. I didn't forget about it across the board.
I would tell people try to limit it to three outfielders. Find three baseball cards all
Tough.
time for outfielders. It's very hard to get to three.
It would have been easier had the criteria just been only the best players, and for the cards have nothing to do with it. But when you sort of factor, although again, fit that 55 tops,
It
Clemente is
holds
a
its own.
beautiful card.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. It gets a special category. I just made that up. It gets a special category. It's got an award.
Well, made the show. Made the show.
Okay. So we're on to DH.
Yeah, boy, talk about going out with a whimper, but that's what we're probably going to do. Here was what you thought was my shortstop pick. Paul Molitor actually played more games at
Oh, I
DH
thought you
than
were
any
doing.
other
I'm
position.
sorry. I thought you were doing UL Washington.
Or Mickey Klutz. With a name like Klutz, you can't go wrong.
Right.
If that always works in baseball. Like Klutz with the error. I can hear Phil Rizzuto right now. Like, oh,
Wait, can I
Bill. Oh, White Klutz made another error.
close?
Although he was
Close.
more known for as an Oakland A. Paul Molitor. I went with the Paul, and here's why. Because with the Paul Molitor rookie, it's not the best. Listen, aesthetically, and maybe I probably should be grilled for this. Aesthetically, it's not the greatest card, but you got two Hall of Famers on one card right here as rookies, right? Paul Molitor and Alan
By the
Trammell.
way, Mike
Um,
Petty, I love you. You're my spirit animal. Thank you.
Dave Kingman. Yeah, Dave Kingman was, I remember him in the Mets, the early Mets days. I went with this card. It's DH, right? It was a lot of different ways I could have went. Um, and then not really because there's limited DHs that are where I went with this because you get two Hall of Famers. Aesthetically, it's not a great looking card, but man, this card is still affordable for two Hall of Fame rookies on one card. And like you said, you get Klutz and UL Washington for no charge once you buy the Trammell and the Paul Molitor.
John, can you read this?
Yeah, I probably did. I tried to get cute. I tried to get cute with the DH pick. Now, I thought someone's going to say, well, man, Paul Molitor, was a third baseman. He played like 3 times as many games as DH as then he did third. He
was a heck of a hitter, but the card's just ugly. And of all the hitters of all time, you could have done better. I'm a little disappointed in you.
Yeah, that's what you get when you pick DHs, I guess. It's tricky. I got to see how you came up with this one.
Okay, well, I absolutely. Where's my DH here? We have a lot of cards in the computer right now, guys. Okay, here we go.
No, he's not a tech. I don't know.
When he came back after his hip surgery, he was only a DH.
Oh man, but I don't think of him as a DH. I think of that guy running through walls, climbing up walls. Like
I didn't break the rule. I bent the rule, and we're gonna go with that. So I love this card.
I tell you what, man, you do have a man crush on this card.
I do.
That is a proven fact, because anytime you can get that card, on the show, I know he played DH, but I don't look at Bo Jackson as a DH. Yeah, see, Orlando agrees with me. People will argue about there we go. We both went out. We both took a strike on our last picks.
Oh, look at this. I think he's showing. I think that's for your card, John. Bo was great. He had 3 homers in 4 innings, and then hurt himself robbing a homer. Had to leave the game.
Yeah, he was one of the greatest athletes to ever play sports. Right.
Another tragic ending for as far as playing career.
Yeah. And I tell you what, if you ever get to read Bo Jackson's autobiography, try saying that. Apparently I can't. But you get the idea. Great. He overcame a lot of adversity as a kid who stuttered, who got picked on. And I think he had the last laugh over some of his childhood classmates that made life very tricky for him. But great story in that regards, and great athlete, overcame some of those, speaking impediments and that sort of thing. And even, his career might have been shorter than, between the Heisman House and TV spots. He's still in the forefront, right? And still a legend. I think the
Heisman House is fake, right? I just want to make sure.
Oh, they don't all live together?
I just want to make sure. Okay.
Well, I just thought it was weird that, how big is this house and where do the wives sleep?
Where are all their trophies?
Where are the trophies and where do the wives go?
All right. Well, this was fun. I needed a little break for the week.
Yeah, a little lighthearted, just a tease for an upcoming episode. We're not sure when it's going to happen, but we're going to have Dr. Jim on, and we're going to do our Mount Rushmore of hobby people. And we're all 3 going to do our own picks without sharing notes. I'm sure some of them will overlap again there too, but it'll be a fun look at,
take nominations for that. We'll definitely take nominations if you have somebody you think should be included.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of know. I know my.
All right, John's not going to take your nominations, but I will.
Well, listen, I kind of know. I don't know, man. I've been doing this a long time. Maybe that's the problem. Right? So I know, the 4 guys I'm going to pick. I'm sorry.
Mookie says I learned so much about Bo Jackson and Chuck Dobson tonight. Thanks, dudes. Chuck
and they're Dobson. So close. They're so close as
Mike,
athletes to each other.
Mike, you're the best. You're a mensch. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Listen, we got to have a little fun. Listen, I don't know when the last time Chuck Dobson was mentioned, but we've ended that streak tonight. a new one will start before he's probably ever mentioned again. I will venture a guess. There's no way I can get him unless I don't even. I'm hoping he's still alive. I don't even know. To be quite honest with
Well,
you, I hope so.
the way your list went tonight, John, I'm not
Oh, yeah.
sure he is.
We started with Chuck Dobson and we ended with a generic Paul Molitor rookie.
No,
And
it was
well,
UL Washington. We got UL
yeah,
Washington in there as well.
you you
Oh, that was great. All right,
so
my friend. Well, in this crazy world we live in, let me just say to you, to yes, I am on Hobby Hotline tomorrow. Thank you, Logan. A quick turnaround. Logan will be doing most of the talking on Hobby Hotline tomorrow. By the way, if you tune in,
he doesn't
it'll be
know yet.
Doctor.
Now he does.
Right,
Now he knows, but he didn't know
it'll
that
be
prior
Doctor
to.
Beckett, Logan, and I'll be running the board quietly. Um, but I really wanted to say in this crazy world, I genuinely appreciate you guys coming into the chat room. I can't tell you how much it means to have some fun, have some feedback, and talk cards. And you guys are just the absolute best, and it makes my week. And yeah, yeah, I'll
Yeah,
thank you.
let me. I'll just. I'll second that. Right. I say this on all my programming. Right. If it wasn't for you folks out there, whether you're watching us live, make idiot picks like we did today, or you listen to us on podcast in audio form only, which is probably maybe the safest bet. But all joking aside, we appreciate it. It's a great outlet for us, and hopefully for you as well to kind of, that's what the hobby's about, right? It's an outlet to take our mind off of everyday mundane stuff in life, or in some cases, tragedies of life. And that doesn't mean those things aren't important or they're not going on it, but you sometimes you need to take a break from dwelling on that, have a couple laughs in the process, and keep going. Right, you got to keep going, and sometimes it's hard, but you got to keep going, and so we're glad to share some of this stuff with you, and you never know. I think we've proven you never know what you might hear on this show, from Chuck Dobson to bad impressions. And again, like I always say, when I sometimes use this to do a little promo, I'm like, safety's not guaranteed. So there you go.
But I'm gonna hit the outro. But I don't have the words for how much this means, and for everybody tomorrow morning on Hobby Hotline. If you're listening on the podcast, then Hobby Hotline's already passed, and you can hear it there. But let's all come together. Love you guys. Love the cards. Love the hobby. Have a good one. Good night, John.
Good night.